Hi, it's Frank the pilot, going 600 miles an hour with my hair on fire. How fast do jets go? Well, up to this point in my life, the Boeing 727 was the largest aircraft I've ever flown. It was about 100 feet wide, about 150 feet long, and stood 34 feet high. The Boeing 727 had a max takeoff gross weight of more than 200,000 pounds and can carry more than 200 people and more than 50,000 pounds of freight. And with 3 turbojet engines, the plane could fly over 2,000 miles and a speed of over 500 knots or 600 miles an hour with a tailwind. The next time you're driving on the highway and you're doing 60 miles an hour, say, geez, times this by 10. That's how fast Frank the pilot's flying. 10 times this, 600 miles an hour. But flying at 600 miles an hour requires highly advanced motor skills and judgment skills and an accelerated fast scan with quick adjustment reflexes. The Boeing 727 was a fun plane to fly. It was like a high-speed go-kart. If you can see it, you can land on it. Meaning, in cruise flight, if you look over the nose and you could see the runway, you were able to land on it. You were able to descend at a high rate of descent, slow down, and land on that runway. I flew in Europe for a few years, many years ago, and they have different rules over there. If requested, and the clearance was received, you can fly climbs at over 350 knots, which is over 400 miles an hour, and descents at that speed. In the United States today, everybody's limited to 250 knots below 10,000 feet. So we would climb these high-speed climbs out of Paris, France, and high-speed descents into Basel, Switzerland. And once at altitude, we would go 600 miles an hour with a good tailwind. We would fly at this pace to about 30 miles from the runway, or about 3,000 feet above the ground. And then we would slow the airplane down so that we would stabilize so we could make a nice, smooth landing. Throttles would come back to idle. This is how we'd slow down from 600 miles an hour. You gotta really be on your game for this. Throttles to idle. Speed brakes extended. The speed brakes deploy flight spoilers, which dirties up the wing that helps the plane come down really steep and helps you slow down. Once you got below 250 knots, land the gear down. Then you can start extending the flaps. And then you'd have to start pulling that yoke back to just below the stall attitude. It's like you're looking at the sky, but the runway's down here. So that the plane would slow down and come down like a rock so that you can get on that final approach glide path and get the throttles out of idle before touchdown. We would have a goal to have this all done by 10 feet. So we'd have 10 foot of error. We're supposed to be stabilized by touchdown. And being stabilized means that the flaps would have to be fully extended. All final checklists would have to be complete. The landing gear would have to be down. And the throttles would have to be out of idle. No one flies like this today. Everybody has to be stabilized by 500 feet in good weather and 1,000 feet in bad weather. Once we got on the ground, we would taxi in quickly, set the parking brake, shut down the engines, and someone would say, "Last one out buys the beer." Oh, that was the most fun part of flying the 727 and the most challenging part. Like I said, today in the United States, everybody's restricted to 250 knots maximum below 10,000 feet, and you must be stable by 1,000 feet in bad weather and 500 feet in good weather. So while piloting a jet, your body is operating at a heightened state of physical and mental alertness, and you are experiencing a maximum adrenaline rush from landing a jet, especially during certain challenging landings. It's a fantastic feeling. Many times, I would fly into my hometown and get in the car and drive home. The most dangerous thing I did that day. And after landing sometimes, It's a major challenge to transition from flying 600 miles an hour above planet Earth to driving 60 miles an hour on planet Earth. Many times I was so pumped up after just flying and landing, and I would scan my car speedometer and say, "Whoa, look how fast I'm going." Pilot beware. We make our money above planet Earth, and it is serious business. I am so happy I never did get a speeding ticket while flying above planet Earth. I can't say the same for while driving on planet Earth. So if you really want to go fast, legally, learn to fly jets. Learn to fly today. But always drive safely, fly safely, and live safely. And go to notwhy.com for more pilot stories. Enjoy the day, if not the night.